So I just wanted to talk about Machiavelli's The Prince. First of all, Machiavelli was a very established and talented politician, bureaucrat, basically, diplomat. He was very smart, but he got on the wrong side of the powers eventually, and they locked him up and tortured him, and that must have really sucked. And then basically living, in the quiet life, he penned The Prince. The Prince I read in San Diego after watching the Borgias. I went to this little park near South Park in San Diego where, rich tourists play golf. And I sat there on the grass and I read The Prince. I loved it. It's very lucidly written. It's unadorned. It's full of truth. Lots of how do you say? I don't know if the word is allusion or references to Alexander, Marcus Aurelius, people who Roman leaders, people who did it well and people who didn't do it well. And you got to remember, this was at a time that France was invading Italy and just shit was incredibly fucked up in Italy. The kingdoms had exhausted themselves going to war with each other. And yeah, fascinating time. But it it's penetrating, and you know that anybody that's in power today has read that book and has a copy of it. I tried to read some of his other stuff, but I didn't I couldn't stay with it. But I loved The Prince, and uh, I think I think it's a great read for historical purposes, understanding not only that time but understanding other leaders like Stalin had a copy of The Prince. I mean, uh, anyway, just thought I'd mention it. Great book and well worth the read. Very short, very laconic, readable. Beautiful. Yeah, and the Borgias is a great kind of introduction. He goes on quite a bit about Cesare Borgia, who, Cesare kind of, I mean, all of his power was predicated on his dad being pope. Once his dad was out, he had pissed off too many people. But just a very wonderful addition, like a gem of the world canon, I would say. Machiavelli's The Prince.